Manny Khoshbin is a real estate entrepreneur who also loves cars and has a collection worth over $25 million, which includes 3 Bugattis. He went from escaping the war in Iran when he was 14 to coming to America and living in a station wagon to becoming a real estate mogul, having bought and sold over $450 million worth of commercial real estate. Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like nah, 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 nah. For my top 10, top 10, nah, nah, nah. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Manny Khoshbin, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Pursue your happiness.
I would say, life is like a road trip, right? First, you got to find your destination. Where do you want to go in life? What makes you happy? To some people, this is not happiness, To some people, they want to, be a spiritual, travel, have just enough money where they don't have to worry about their rent, but they want to be free, spirited, travel, and they're happy. Trust me, they don't want it. You give them a free Bugatti, they don't want it. So everybody's different.
Yeah.
For me, all the material things, it was out of desperation because this to me was signaling that, I don't have financial difficulties anymore. And that was the big difficulty we had when we got here, But now I'm falling in love with, cars, and I have passion for them. I appreciate it. But the most important thing, find your destination, find out where you want to be in life, whether it's becoming a yoga teacher that makes you super happy, or you want to have your own company, or you want to have a massive amount of money where you can do a lot of charity events or travel or be on a Forbes billionaire list, whatever it is. Because I truly think anyone can do anything and be anybody they want in life as long as they're patient and they have a roadmap.
Rule number 2, never give up.
I never give up. I keep trying. And if you just take action, and I made a recent post on my Instagram saying, if you can't figure out what you want to do in life, don't worry about it. Just do what's in front of you right now, right?
Yes.
And then, but with the vision of this is a stepping stone, and always be on the lookout for a better opportunity. So just be active, because if you're sitting around constantly asking people, what's the next business? If this business is bad, I'm gonna wait for this guy to come from Korea. He may have a better business for me. And you're just sitting around doing nothing. You're idling. If you're idling, you're not going nowhere. Trust me.
Rule number 3, get ahead of the curve.
In life, everything is about pivoting from one thing to another, stepping stones, right? So I started looking at office buildings out of a state. Because California, it's like, I gotta expand my territory.
Yeah.
Right? So I started going on internet. Thank God to internet now. You can kind of get on there and search anything you want. So I started looking at Houston, 4th largest city in the nation, a lot of movement, a lot of liquidity in real estate, a lot of, product to cherry pick from. So I started, teaching myself, researching different zip codes, and I realized the area closer to airport is very active at businesses because a lot of people fly in for meetings. So I started buying smaller buildings, 3-4 story buildings. I bought 3 buildings. I think on my first visit, I flew there in 2004. I met with the broker. He showed me 5 buildings. I bought 3 of them on the spot. We went to his office, wrote the offer, and I flew back the same day. I bought it for, I think, $9.7 million. I put $3 million down. But the nice thing is, I had the experience already with negotiating and adding and flipping. So I already knew there's meat on the bone on these properties because I've already done it, for 3-4 years prior. And what was nice is I bought the buildings, and then California had kind of plateaued 2004 to 2007. You didn't get a huge price appreciation, and people were selling in that time and doing 1031 exchange. Where they want to take their money?
Yeah.
Arizona and Houston, Miami, New York. So Houston was one of the cities where I got a lot of California money moving into it, and I was ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So
you saw the trend.
Yeah. So by 2007, I had $130 million worth of real estate, all in Houston, mostly all of it in Houston. and I sold in 2007. Most of them California buyers.
Yeah.
Rule number 4, reinvest your money.
What do you think most entrepreneurs do wrong?
Most entrepreneurs, they make money and they don't reinvest it. You know, they blow it, and then, you know, economy is cyclical. When the business has a, you know, dip, and they've bought all these Ferraris, cars, Lamborghinis, and they didn't reinvest, and they'll, you know, hit a bad spot in financial spot.
So financially, you weren't cashing out, you know, when you started, and we'll get into when you started making
Yeah.
good money in real estate, but you didn't start cashing out and buying luxury stuff right away, right? Or
No.
did you kind of? Were you patient with it, or what was your process?
Yeah, my process was, with my investment, was always reinvest the money. It's like, you know, buying a cow. You don't sell the cow, you sell the milk. And
Right.
even when you sell the milk, you take part of the profit and invest it in a second cow.
Yeah.
You know, and only with that 30% of it, whatever it may be, you go buy, you know, iPad, iPhone, whatever you have. So my mentality was always reinvest, 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 you know. Don't spend the principal, reinvest the cash flow, you know. And that's how I've amassed all this real estate. And I told myself, I said, hey, I'm gonna buy a Bugatti when I can buy 10 of them cash, you know. But most entrepreneurs, they go ahead and finance it, and they start taking a lot of loans in. And then when the business slows down, it's, you know, overwhelming, and, you know, they start having financial difficulty, and some of them don't survive, you know. But to me, is whatever your trade is, make the money, invest in real estate, and be patient. And every time recessions comes, keep buying.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, self-love, and learn from billionaires, check out my 254 series, where every day for 254 days, I send you an awesome unlisted video to improve and fix your mindset. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
You have to go build self-confidence.
Remember this, your business is always a reflection of you.
If it's your company and you can't sell, you're not going to be in business long, particularly when you're starting up and it's just you.
Rule number 5, learn from your mistakes.
With this particular investment, we bought a building for $17 million in Houston, and it was a subsidiary of Boeing, the tenant that occupied the building, and they handle all the communication with the Discovery shuttle. And I'm like, they spent $20 million, fiber optics, so much infrastructure they put in the building, they're not gonna go anywhere. That's what the broker was telling me, right? So we bought the building that had 5-year lease with 3 5-year option, and the cap rate was like 8.5. So we put $5 million down, and our return was like 18 to 20% cash on cash. With a, you know, Boeing, you know, as your credit tenant, it was like, how can you go wrong? And what are the chances of
Boeing,
you know, NASA not giving them the contract, you know, renewing their contract? You know, it's a government contract because they're the main, you know, vendor for NASA. And guess what happened? SpaceX, you know, came by, Elon Musk, and he got awarded the contract. 3 years after I bought it, I got a FedEx letter, and from our tenant, USA, which was the name of the tenant. They said, oh, we didn't get the contract from NASA renewed. We're going to be moving out of the building. And my heart just dropped. I'm like, whoa, I just got punched in the gut.
Oh my God.
And that's all or none. It was
Yeah.
none at that point. And sadly, I had some partners in there. I was 50% partner. I put 2.5 million of my own money. Then I had like 18, 19 other family friends that put money in there, which one of them, you know.
Yeah.
And that was a hard thing for me to swallow. I didn't care so much about my money, to be honest with you. I felt more pressure and guilt for all these other 18 because, you know, I can always make the money back, but some of these people, like my own sister, she borrowed money on her home, 500 grand, and she put in there, so all that money was, you know, gone. They got the distribution for a couple of years, so they got some of that money back. But people always look at their equity they put in.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. You know, you could give them money for 10 years distribution. If they put $1 million, they want $1 million back after 10 years. Doesn't matter, you know. So that was an expensive lesson. So now I never buy a single tenant. I don't care if it's God occupying it.
Rule number 6, find your motivation.
I think that really was like built my personality. I had to grow to be a man, you know, in rather quickly, and then try to, you know, reach that financial independence to get my parents, you know, from that financial suffering.
Sure.
So that became my motivation, I think my drive, you know, early on. And, you know, I had to do what I had to do. I couldn't speak English, but I was trying to help out my dad, you know, make money.
Yeah.
So my first job was dumpster diving. You know?
Okay, all right. We've got a lot in common, don't we? Yeah, all right.
So, you know, every time I took the trash out, I saw people left stuff outside the dumpster, and I couldn't understand why. Hey, there's a toaster, you know, a dining set, a chair. I'm like, hey, that stuff is still good. You know, it's not broken. So I would haul them back to my patio of the apartment. And then after, you know, a few months, we had a whole bunch of stuff stacked up in the patio. And across from our apartment, there was Orange Coast College, which had swap meets on the weekends.
Yeah.
And me and my mom used to walk over there and buy used stuff, you know, for the apartment. So we decided, hey, you know, why don't we get a couple of spaces and sell the stuff we've been piling up in the patio, you know? So that was my first job, you know, selling used stuff at the swap meet.
Yeah, I mean, that is straight up entrepreneurship 101.
Yeah, you know, it's like desperation, you know.
It cost you nothing,
Yep.
and now you're going to make something out of it.
Exactly.
Right? It cost you time, but I mean, you had all the time in the world when we're kids, right?
Exactly, and also it taught me to negotiate, you know. I price everything a little bit higher, and then people always bargain, you know, at the swap meet.
Rule number 7, exercise.
Exercise is like you know, probably the most influential thing in my life. And you probably get that from a lot of entrepreneurs,
right? Absolutely.
Successful entrepreneurs. Most of them work out, they have good physique. And, you know, you build your body first, and then you build your mind, your mindset, you know, and as you see results, improvement in your muscles, your body, your mind starts getting more confident as well. You know,
and starts translating into business, life, other areas, communication. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's been a very big key for me. And to this day, I still work out 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got to, man. You never quit, you know.
Rule number 8, follow the clues.
You know, real estate really is simple and it's not, you know, but 99% of it is timing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, you could throw a dart in, you know, 2009, 2010, buy any property. Just throw a dart and land on any property and wait 4 years, you doubled your money, you know?
Yeah.
And then you could, you know, work so hard to find the best deal in 2007 and you lose your ass.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
99% is timing. And I've been fortunate to be able to spot the cycles.
So would you say that, is it spottable?
Easy.
You can
It's
spot.
not easy.
It's not easy?
But you can't pinpoint where the shit's gonna hit the fan.
But
the writing's on the wall.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, you can see, it's kind of like, you know, someone's doing a marathon, you know they're running out of air, right?
Got it, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
right now, 10 years, the economy's been going up, and you can see it's getting tired. You know, you can see it in the stock market for 18 months, you know, the Wilshire 5000 hasn't hit new high, you know. You can see it's getting tired. Companies are, you know, revising downward the earnings. You know, a stock market has been one of the great indicators for me because it's always forward thinking. Yeah. People are always putting assumptions. You know, if the economy is going to get better, the stock market's already ahead, right? So that employment, small businesses, you know, people really don't have money, and the housing expense has doubled, you know, in the past 10 years, doubled. And then forget food costs. I mean, you used to buy a loaf of bread, you know, for 99 cents, you know, 7-8 years ago. Now it's $5, you know, eggs, milk. You go to grocery store. I mean, I don't know how people are doing on minimum wage. And,
I don't know either.
You know, and then the number of homeless people you hear, you know. So the news, you know, for most part, it's fake news. You know, they don't tell you how bad things get.
Rule number 9, have a dream.
So at 16, I was legally able to work. And I applied for a job at Kmart, and I was clerk 407. I was a clerk to clean the bathrooms, a stock room, mop the floors, collect all the shopping carts in the parking lot. And I did that for about a year. I got promoted to assistant sporting goods manager. But all along, my dream, my vision was, you know, to become a multimillionaire.
Sure.
You know, and
now,
so
were you communicating this to your mom and dad? Like, hey guys, I'm going to become a multimillionaire. I'm going to show you that, you know, we can do this. Like, were you communicating, or would you?
They knew from my efforts, you know, that I was striving to like better myself financially. Yeah. I mean, they could tell. I was like always like a sponge, always looking for better opportunity. If I saw one guy selling used cars and making money, I would start getting an auto trader, look for used cars, you know. So I done so many different trades, from being a mechanic, going to people's home to change their oil on their car, brake pads, anything. Every time I ran into somebody that was making more money than me, I copied them.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is compromise and sacrifice.
What was your first car to ever get?
What was my first car to ever get? 1983 Honda Accord, 4-door sedan. I bought it at the auction. I saved $100 a day every week from my paycheck from working at Kmart, and my paycheck was a little over 100. So imagine 80% of it I was saving for 52 weeks, and I was able to buy a $5,000 car within a year. So compromise, sacrifice, so you can live better, and at the end of the day, nothing's gonna come easy. You gotta put hard work, commitment, dedication, and get with the process.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, if you're still here watching and you promise, you commit that you're gonna take action after watching this video, you're not just gonna watch a video, you're gonna do something afterwards, give me a hashtag believe in the comments, because I want to celebrate you.
Is Curiosity Factory installed for you, or did someone teach you to be curious and ask questions and seek out knowledge?
To be honest with you, I think a little bit of both. You know, ever since I was a little kid, my dad always told me I was always trying to, like, even radio, if I see a piece of toys, I would open the toy just to see how it's put together, how many screws, if I open this screw, what is it gonna do? So I was always curious, you know. Like my grandpa, when I was a little kid, you know, he had a little deli, and he used to save the tomato boxes for me, because every weekend I used to go there and take off the, tomato boxes and try to, cut it and build a plane or do something with it. But, when I came to America, I think that kind of got amplified because of desperation. I wanted to make money. Now I was even more curious. I was curious to make money. Not just to see how to open a toy.
If you want 10 more rules from Manny, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you find somebody that's had a successful business for 20 years, you like that business, find 3 other guys like him, and now you got 60 years worth of experience and you're still in your 20s.